people. So let's continue. Chapter 8, Dividends. Okay, ABC Limited, listed company in the Indian manufacturing sector, has concluded its year. The company is now considering declaring a final dividend of rupees 3 per equity share with a face value of 10 per share. Before proceeding, the board of directors seeks to ensure that the proposed dividend complies with all the relevant provisions. Okay, particularly related to the permissible sources and conditions for dividend distribution. They've given you the various details, how much they have and all of that. Take a pause and see. In addition to the current year earnings, ABC Limited also has accumulated retained earnings of 2000 lakhs from the previous financial year and holds free reserves of 500 lakhs. The company has 100 lakh equity shares and the total proposed dividend payout amounts to 300 lakhs. Based on the above information, analyze whether ABC Limited is eligible to declare dividends under the following scenario. First one, out of the current year's profits, can it do? Directly, people, revenue doesn't matter, other income doesn't matter. I'll directly go to net profit after tax and depreciation. Of course, everything is already taken. So after everything, what is left for me? 1350. In that, how much I want to pay? 300 lakhs. Can I pay? Yes, absolutely fine. I have enough money. Out of the accumulated profits of the previous years only, can I pay it out of the previous years only? You can pay, provided if there is any depreciation or something like that, you have to first make sure the depreciation is always set off. But remember, in the current case, because my current year profits itself is sufficient, I need not have to rely upon the previous year profits and all. So not required. Yeah, simple question. Okay, next one, chapter 9. Accounts of companies. SMTN Limited is a listed company that operates in the pharmaceutical sector. The company's accounts for 23 were audited by a prominent audit firm, JJ and Co. Following an investigation by MCA, it was discovered that the audit report issued by JJ and Co. contained several discrepancies, including failure to disclose material information regarding the company's liabilities and misstatements in the revenue recognition practices. The issue was raised by a group of minority shareholders who alleged that the audit firm had not complied with the auditing standards and had failed to conduct a proper audit. The MCA referred the matter to NFRA, a body established under Section 132 to investigate the company. In the light of the provisions, explain any three functions and duties of NFRA and what actions can the NFRA take against the audit firm. Abba. Yes, people, duties to recommend accounting and audit standards, to oversee the duties of the professional, to advise on any points of improvement to the professional, and whenever any such things, investigations happen, to accordingly pass orders during the time of non-compliances, as the case may be. What are the orders that we can pass? Depends upon whether an individual or if you are a firm. If you are an individual, they can do up to 1 lakh and which can go to 5 times. If it is a firm, 5 lakh, which can go up to 10 times. And you can be debarred from conducting an internal audit, undertaking any audit, becoming an auditor for a minimum of 6 months, which can go up to 10 years. That's the debarment. Remember. Yeah. Okay. Chicago Bricks is a company incorporated in Chicago, USA in the year 1985. Engaged in the manufacture of cement and related products. On 10th April, it commenced manufacture in India through its branch, engaged in the manufacture of fly ash bricks used in construction of buildings and other infrastructural projects throughout the country. The operations of the branch have been growing at a fast pace. The turnover of the branch as on hello, hello. Is it? Can you wait for some 20 minutes? Is it okay? Yes. I'll call you. Yeah. Yeah. It commenced the manufacturing in India through its branch engaged in the manufacture of fly ash bricks used in construction of buildings and other infrastructural projects throughout the country. The operations of the branch have been growing at a fast pace. The turnover for the last 3 years is this. As per the data, the branch works at a 20% net profit margin. Mr. Ramesh, one of the directors of Chicago Bricks Inc., has advised the branch to comply with the requirements of CSR and to form a CSR committee as well for monitoring the aforesaid activities for the financial year 25-26. The branch is opposing the above view and has submitted that although CSR provisions are applicable, there is no requirement to constitute a CSR committee, and the above CSR functions can be discharged by the board of directors themselves. First of all, people, foreign companies, CSR applicable? Yes, it is applicable. Your net worth, turnover, and profit, same condition. What is it they're telling you? The branch operates on a profit margin of 20%. The current year is what? 25-26, huh? Yeah. So in the previous year is what? My 24-25, 85 crore into 20% is how much? Technically more than 16 crore for sure. So the moment it is 5 crore, the provision is applicable to me. So in the given case, yes, it is applicable to me. Now, if I take average of these three, 75 plus 65 plus 85 divided by 3, multiply it by 2%. That is the amount I need to spend. Now, if that amount does not exceed 50 lakh, then remember, I need not form a CSR committee at all. Then directors only can discharge the liability. So in the given case, you need to calculate whether how much is that 2% coming to. If you guys can calculate 76 plus 85 plus 65 divided by 3 into 20% of it and 2%, 30 lakhs, which is not exceeding 50 lakhs. That means the directors themselves can discharge the duty. They need not have to form a CSR committee. If they had to form a CSR committee, how many people will be there in that? There shall be 2 members in the CSR committee. Remember, if at all independent director is there in your company, only then you need to have 3. If not, 2 is sufficient. The same applies for even a private company also. Clear? Okay. PQR Private Limited operates as a manufacturing company generating a turnover of 150 crore and holds an outstanding loan of 75 crore from a public financial institution solely in the previous financial year. With a total loan of 110 crore, but 35 crore were repaid during the same year. The company's board has delegated the authority to CEO to designate an internal auditor to conduct the internal audit. However, the CEO believes that the company is not legally obligated to have an internal auditor. Analyze the accuracy of the CEO's perspective by referring to the provision outlined in the Companies Act 2013. What would be your answer if the board wants to appoint Mr. Nagendra, an ex-employee who is a qualified chartered accountant, as an internal auditor? So internal auditor people, first of all, what type of company is this? It's a private company. Then only 2 conditions will apply. What is that? My two condition is that is your turnover of 200 crore and my borrowing of 100 crore. Only these 2 conditions will apply. Not the 4 conditions because it's a private company. Hello? Okay. Now, because of that, what is that they're telling you? How much is the, what is that? Loan. It has touched 110 crore. Irrespective of the fact in the year if you have paid, that's a different story. Correct? What is that they're telling you? So in the given case, our turnover is 150 crore. That is not satisfied. Okay. But loan had touched 110 crore, right? So because of that, what is the conditions here? Outstanding loan or borrowing from banks or public financial institution exceeding 100 crore or more at any point of time during the preceding financial year. Even one day it had touched 100 crore. I mean 101 crore. Then that means the provision will apply to me. In the given case, in the mid of the year, You have exceeded 100. Yes, during the year you have repaid, but even if one day you have satisfied people, the audit will apply to you. And yes, people, ex-employee can be appointed. That is allowed. There is no restriction as such. Yeah. Done. Next one, people, chapter 10, audit and auditors. Measures DEF is conducting audit of Right Trading Limited for the past 9 years. Now, due to the requirement of rotation of auditors, Measures DEF is going to retire at the upcoming AGM. And in its place, Measures XYZ will be appointed as the auditor of the Right Trading Limited. One of the partner, Mr. F, who was in charge of the certification of financial statements, the company retired from the firm of DF and joined XYZ. Examine the provisions. People, it's nothing but what people, common partner. We cannot appoint, no? So not possible. Sangeeta was appointed as statutory auditor of ABC Limited in the AGM of the shareholders held on 20th August 2023. However, Sangeeta met with an accident on 23rd December 23 and died. The board of directors of ABC Limited filled up the casual vacancy caused by the sudden death of Sangeeta and appointed Keshav as a statutory auditor. The next AGM was scheduled on 28th August 24, in which the board recommended for appointment of Ashish as their auditors. Keshav objected for the appointment of Ashish and gave representation to the CS, mentioning therein that his appointment was approved by board after the demise of Sangeeta, thus can continue as statutory auditor till the conclusion of next AGM, and also threatened to report the matter to the registrar and NCLT. Based on the above facts, answer the following. Explain the procedure to fill up the casual vacancy. Remember, people, if casual vacancy has happened due to death, the board of directors only will appoint and they will hold the office till the next immediate AGM. If at all the casual vacancy has happened due to resignation, then that appointment done. The board of directors will appoint, but it has to be ratified by the shareholders within 3 months. Even then, they will be holding the office only till the next AGM. So in the given case, Ashish's appointment is right. Keshav's contention is wrong. Whether the contention raised by Keshav is justified? No. What will be your answer if vacancy occurred by resignation? Then shareholders have to agree within 3 months of appointment by the directors. Remember. See, easy. See, good questions. The more questions you practice, always the better for you. ABC Limited is in the business of manufacturing life-saving drugs. The company has its plant in Kerala. The turnover is 52 crore. During the first quarter of the current financial year, the company's turnover has already reached 50 crore. ABC Limited is expecting its turnover to reach 200 crore for 24-25. The company held its board meeting on August 1st, 2024 and decided to appoint a cost auditor for the financial year 24-25. According to the General Clauses Act, by what date must ABC Limited file the cost auditor appointment and how is the timeline calculated? Here, ababa, cost auditor will be appointed, people, within 30 days of the board meeting in whichever he is appointed, or within 180 days of the commencement of the financial year. Correct? Within 30 days or within 180 days. And the first day is not counted, last day is counted. So day of meeting don't count. Last day you count. Yes, and count like this. That is what they're telling you. See here. So when will I appoint? Within 30 days of the board meeting in which such appointment is made, or within 180 days of commencement, whichever is earlier. So when did my board meeting happen? On 1st of August 2024. Don't count the first. Start counting from second. 30 days. That is 31st August 2024. Or 180 days from the commencement of financial year. That will be 27 September 2024. Whichever is earlier. So by 31st August, I need to appoint. Hello. Very, very important. See how they have asked? Yeah. Good. Okay, next one. Companies incorporated outside India. Jade Suits LLC is a chain of hotels and restaurants. It is proposing to establish a hotel at Goa. It has appointed a CA for taking care of registration. While the registration process was ongoing, the company entered into a lease agreement with the landowner for the construction of its hotel. After a few months, the directors of Jade Suits withdrew their interest in establishing a hotel at Goa due to the nexus in social media regarding the fall in tourism here. The landowner refused to repay the advance received by him. Can Jade Suits LLC sue the landowner in capacity of a foreign company? Referring to the provision of choose the correct option. What is the correct option? Huh? Remember, people, as long as the process is not complete, you cannot sue the owner. Remember, people, for a foreign company, it is your duty to come and file FC1 with the registrar within 30 days of you setting up of your business. You have to file it with the what is that uh, registrar CRC, New Delhi. You have to file it until it is done. Your registration is not valid. It is not yet registered. If the company is not yet registered, people, you do not have a right to file a suit in the given case. They do not have a right to file a suit. Simple. It is an MCQ. Okay. Beauty Cosmetics, a company incorporated in Korea, has established its branch office in Chennai for conducting its business in India. The structure of paid up capital of Beauty Cosmetics is as under. The company does not have preference, it has only equity. In that, 10% is held by Indian, or also 20% Indian, and 20% is held by a company. So 20 plus 20 plus 20 is how much? 50 percentage. What is the provision? It's very simple, people. Whenever in a foreign company, at least if 50% of the total capital, whether partly preference, partly equity, or completely preference, completely equity, if it is held by a Indian citizen or a body corporate, or partly by Indian citizen or a body corporate, then remember, for the administration purpose, we will consider that foreign company as a deemed to be an Indian company. It will be treated like an Indian company. So not only this chapter, more provisions will also apply to that particular company. Hello, clear? Okay. The drug software company, a company incorporated in Australia, proposes to establish a place of business at Mumbai. The list of directors includes Arun, Ranveer, Ramesh, Nawaz, and Lavina has been appointed as Secretary of Drug Software. It is to be noted that Ramesh, Malik, and Nawaz, resident in India, are the persons who have been authorized by drug software company to accept on behalf of the company service of process notices, etc. In relation to company's establishment, you are required to enlighten the drug with respect to whose declaration will be required to be submitted to the ROC for not being convicted or debarred from formation of companies in or outside India. Who is required? Remember, people, except the secretary, I need to give the authorized officer, the directors here, we need to give all their details. Agreed? Yes, directors and the authorized representatives. So people, because of that, I will have to give it of Arun, I will have to give it of Ranveer, I will have to give it of Ramesh Malik, and I will have to give it of Nawaz as well. So secretaries is not required. That is the option. Lavinas is not required. Remember that we are not debarred from forming the company or being involved in the management of the company. We should not be debarred. Hello? Okay. ABC LLP is engaged in the business of providing software consulting services. Due to an economic slowdown, the LLP is unable to meet its obligation towards some creditors. The management of ABC LLP proposes a compromise or arrangement with its creditors. The LLP files an application before NCLT seeking directions to convene a meeting of its creditors. At the meeting, the creditors representing 80% of the total debt agreed to the proposed arrangement. The tribunal, after ensuring that all material facts, including the LLP's latest financial statements and the disclosure of pending tax investigations, have been presented, sanctions the compromise. However, ABC fails to file the tribunal's order with the registrar within the prescribed period. Examine the validity of the compromise or arrangement approved by the creditors and sanctioned by the tribunal. Also explain the effect of failure of LLP to file tribunal's order with registrar. First of all, when is the compromise or arrangement valid, people? It should be agreed by majority of the creditors and holding at least 75% in value, 3/4 in value. So here they have given us value. Let us assume that it has been agreed by majority as well. You can write it as an assumption. So yes, consent is valid. And remember, when you are applying for the tribunal for entering into any compromise or arrangement, people, remember with that, you need to clearly disclose your whatever they have given. Any pending investigations against the company, your latest financial statements, all this you have to mandatorily disclose. In the given case, they have disclosed. Okay, second condition satisfied. Now, whenever after the creditors have agreed, you will intimate it to the tribunal. Tribunal will give you an approval. That has to be filed with the registrar within 30 days. Failure to file, people, then such compromise will be considered as ineffective. Failure to file is ineffective. So people, the compromise or arrangement cannot happen as the LLP has not filed this particular intimation of the tribunal with the ROC. Clear? Okay, next one. Sulagna Sukanya Associates was formed on 20 to engage in the business of manufacturing affordable. Okay. Sulagna fashion designer had appointed Suresh, a qualified CA, to maintain and finalize the accounts on a Jan to December basis. They ended the register on 1st November 2024. Thereby preparing the financial statements for the first 2 months ending 31st December 2024. Shrish differed from the view and advised her for April to March as a financial year, from November to March 25 instead. Meanwhile, Dilip, a Karta of HUF in which Sukanya is also a member, has approached LLP and offered to be admitted as a partner, HUF to be a partner. Considering the provisions of LLP, answer the following. Whether the advice of Sulagna for maintaining the accounts from Jan to December, is it good as per the law? What is the financial year, people? If your LLP is registered after 30th September of any year, then your financial year will end not in the immediate year, but in the next succeeding year. So in the given case, Jan to December is not valid. They should have their financial year will be 1st November 24 to 31st March 26. That will be their financial year. So no, her contention is wrong. Whether the offer given by Dilip to induct HUF as a partner, is it valid? HUF is not considered as a body corporate under the Act, people. Now we cannot consider HUF as a partner. No, not possible. Whether a charitable trust, can it be considered as LLP? Even trust is also not considered as a body corporate. Even cooperative society is not a body corporate. Even a corporation sole, that is sole proprietorship, it is not considered as a body corporate. Hence, people, no, you cannot take these following people as your partners. Done. Next one, Harish, Priyam and Priyesh are 3 advertising professionals specialized in the field of creating short advertisement films for various fast-moving companies. They have been engaged in the business as sole proprietors but have now decided to join hands and form LLP. On 10th April, the e-form Run LLP is filed there to reserve the name of LLP as HPP and Associates, which has been approved by the registrar. The e-form has also been filed containing the details of partners and their consent. Meanwhile, even after incorporation, on 30th April 2024, the LLP could not finalize the LLP agreement as Harish and Priyan have agreed to contribute 1.15 crore to the LLP, whereas Priyesh has decided and insisted to monetize his future services for 1 year to the LLP as his capital contribution, which has been opposed by other two partners as beyond the law. However, a consensus was drawn between the above three and a common consensus LLP agreement was submitted on 20th May 2024. The LLP has further planned to induct Srijan Cooperative Society as one of its partners. Just now we saw you cannot. Answer the following. Whether the registrar would accept the LLP agreement so submitted after 20 days of incorporation. People remember, you need to file your LLP deed within 30 days of incorporation. That is called in Form 3. So here within 20 days, absolutely allowed. Registrar will accept. Next one, whether the opposition of the desire of Priyesh. Very, very good question, people. We would have seen in the class also. Remember, contribution can be in terms of movable property, immovable property, tangible, intangible, promissory note, and even your service. Meaning, I will work free of cost for the next 1 year. That can also be considered as contribution. Yes, possible, allowed. Cooperative society cannot be conducted. It cannot be inducted as a partner. Remember, that's the answer. Clear? Okay. A, B, and C and D are partners of Alpha, have equal share in profits and losses. A has made an agreement to transfer 70% of his share in the profits of Alpha LLP to his daughter X. X wanted to access information about the trading transactions of Alpha LLP, claiming that she is entitled to the information as she receives a percentage of profits from LLP. The partners refused to grant her the access. Remember, people, whether you are a transferee or an assignee, meaning after death, the next person becomes a partner. No, whoever is a transferee or even in inheritance, you will not have the equal rights as the other partners. That means you will not be allowed for information about the transaction. That restriction is valid. The daughter does not have any right in such scenario. There is no remedy. You will get only the share in profits. That's the answer. Okay, next one. 70% of outstanding is full settlement. An application is made by the tribunal. People, same question, da? The creditors, whether the compromise can be sanctioned by the tribunal despite non-disclosure of pending investigation. No, you have to disclose all that just now we saw. Whether the compromise becomes effective and binding if the tribunal's order is not filed, we saw it is not binding. Simple. Okay, the next one. General clauses. Under an enactment, an excise duty of 10 is levied on every 100 liters of a certain chemical. During inspection, it was found that the factory A has produced 350 liters of the chemical but had paid duty only on 300 liters, arguing that the act only specifies duty per 100 liters and does not mention the fractional quantity. With reference, the General Clauses Act determine whether the factory is liable to pay excise duty on the remaining 50 liters. Are we? People, remember, whatever is the rule, whatever the law says, you need to take the duty on a proportionate basis. They have given it for 100 liters. If at all you're producing for 350, you need to take it proportionately. So the company has to pay 35 rupees in the given case. Hello. Yogveer Singh has a mango orchard at Manchanga village. The orchard has more than 100 mango trees. Yogveer Singh has sold orchard along with all the mango trees. Explain in the lights of provision of General Clause Act whether the sale of trees will be considered as sale of immovable property. As per the immovable property definition, people, yes, anything which is attached to the land, forming part of the land, it will be treated as immovable property. Yes. Mr. N is caught stealing a bicycle, an offense punishable under IPC. According to section 379 of IPC, the punishment for theft was charged against him. Elaborate how the term imprisonment levied under the General Clauses Act can be applied in line. What do I mean by imprisonment, people? There are two types of imprisonment on any offenses you make. One is called as simple imprisonment. One is called as rigorous imprisonment. A person who kills someone will be punished for 7 years. Very rigorous imprisonment. You need to do work and all of that. Sir, I have done some simple offense, say pickpocket. For you, there will not be any rigorous imprisonment and all. Simple imprisonment will be there. So it all depends on the act you did. So a simple theft of a cycle will make you land up in a simple imprisonment, provided you have not harmed anyone when you are doing this theft. Done. Purva Buildcon is a public company having two subsidiary companies, namely Arihant and Siddharth. Purva is so this company has two subsidiary companies. Purva is a CFO of PBL, that is a holding company. Ashish and Mrinal, who were the CFOs of ACL and SBL, resigned from their respective companies. And Purva was offered to take charge of the office of CFO in ACL and SBL, which she accepted. Whether Purva can be designated as CFO simultaneously in two subsidiaries, that is SBL and ACL, besides being CFO of PBL. Now, people, you might be wondering, where is this provision? In General Clauses Act, people, you will not find this answer. After, in your institute module, after all the provisions are given, in that, whatever is the questionnaire they have given, in that this question is there. And that they have asked in one of the attempt. Hello? So what is the provision? There is one act, in Companies Act, there is a section called as people, section 203. In that section, people, it says that whenever you are a KMP in one company, holding company, you can also be a KMP in a subsidiary company. That is what is the act says in section 203. So CFO is a KMP. You know definition 2 clause 51. So he is the KMP in a holding company. So according to the section, I can also be a KMP in a subsidiary company as well. Agreed? Now in the given case, the act says I can be a KMP in a subsidiary company. Now how is General Clauses Act applicable here? Remember, singular can be read as plural. So based on that, I can be a KMP of two subsidiary companies as well. That's how they have tried to link General Clauses Act to the Companies Act. Hello, that's the answer for this question. Tricky? Okay. Measures ABCD Capital Limited, a listed company, was found guilty of manipulating its share prices. The company's managing director Arvind was charged under 447 fraud and under SEBI prohibition of for misleading investors and distorting the securities market. The SEBI adjudicating officer imposed a monetary penalty of 25 lakh and recommended a criminal prosecution. Later, the special court under Companies Act also imposed a fine of 10 lakh and 3-year imprisonment. For the same fraudulent act, Mr. Arvind appealed, raising two legal objections: that he cannot be punished twice for the same act of fraud under two different acts. The fine imposed under SEBI cannot be recovered using Code of Criminal Procedure since SEBI laws are special enactments. Based on the facts given above, by applying the relevant provision of General Clause Act, choose the correct answer. What is the answer? I'll tell you directly. What is that, people? Double jeopardy. Of course, I cannot be punished under two acts. I can be trialed, meaning in the court under both the acts. The hearing can happen in the court, but I cannot be punished in both the acts. That is not possible. Yes, you cannot be punished for the same offense under two acts. Second one, people, when your main act is silent, you can always recover the fines as per the Code of Criminal Procedure. That's the answer. Where is the answer? He can be trialed and convicted under both the enactments, but cannot be punished twice. That's the answer. If SEBI Act does not expressly exclude the application of Code of Criminal Procedure, then Code of Criminal Procedure provisions like issuance of warrant for levy of fine will automatically apply. Hello? Okay. iOS, the central government enacted the Industrial Regulation Act 1985 One of the provision of the act uses the word processing unit, but the term is not specifically defined in the statute for the last 30 years. Licensing authorities have consistently treated small packaging units as processing units under the act. Several industries have been granted licenses on this basis. The legislature has amended the act multiple times over the years but has never altered this interpretation. Further, in one case, a high court also accepted this long standing practice while deciding a dispute. Recently, a new regulatory authority has taken a different view and denied license to a packaging unit, arguing that the term processing unit should be interpreted strictly as per the dictionary meaning and not according to the past administrative practice. The affected company challenges the decision that the long-standing usage and practice should guide the interpretation of the statute. While interpreting a statute, what is the effect of usage and customs? Yes, people, what does it come under? Two main rules. What is that happening, people? Whenever we do not have a specific meaning for a word, we will always take an interpretation based on usage or customs, meaning from the time immemorial. How was the word being interpreted? We will also interpret in the same way. And that is what is given in two maxims. You are expected to write this in the exam. And what is that? One is called optima legum interpres es constitut. What do you mean with that? The custom is the best interpreter of the law. Next one, people. Contemponia exposito yet optima yet forticinia in league. What do I mean by that, sir? The best way to interpret a law is to read the document as if it would have been read when it was made. So 30 years back, how would you read this document? That is how you need to read this document. Hello. So customs will prevail. Hello. Okay. Fema, Miss Pearl was an Indian citizen who got job in software company in USA. She went to USA and stayed there for 15 years. During her stay, she purchased a house in USA for her residence. Then due to some personal issues, she moved back to India and joined a software company. As she had moved back to India, she let out her house in USA and deposited the obtained rent in her account in USA. Advise whether Pearl can purchase another house in USA from her account in USA. Possible. People, capital account transactions will not apply to the transactions which, if you have inherited any asset or buying of any asset using your foreign resources which you made when you were a PROI. So people, FEMA will not apply to this transaction at all. Golden Global Limited is a company incorporated and registered in Germany. On 1st April 2012, it established a branch of office at Chennai. The Chennai branch subsequently began controlling the operations of another branch of Golden Globe in Dubai. With reference to the provision of FEMA, determine the residential status of Golden Global Limited. It is registered and situated outside India. So it is PROI. Chennai branch. Any office, agency, branch set up in India, even if the control is with PROI, I will treat it as PRI. Any branch, agency or office set up outside India, if the control is in India, I will treat it as PRI. PRI, and one is PROI. Done. Mr. V is a person of Indian origin who had moved to USA along with his wife in the year 1998 and had been living there in 2024. He was holding joint bank accounts with his wife in USA since 98. On the demise of his wife, he had returned permanently to India. He also inherited wife's money after the death. People, same thing, people. The transactions won't apply to the capital account transaction. If at all you have made any asset outside India, using that only if you are making any payments, the FEMA provisions won't apply to it. So she is free to do it so. Bob, a director at Skynex Limited, along with his wife, Major son and father purchased the property in Mexico, holding equal share in the property. They collectively remitted USD, how much I think 1 crore during the financial year, or USD 10 lakh dollar in the financial year. Bob confirmed that all family members complied with the applicable terms. Okay, examine whether Bob and his family members can remit USD 10 lakh dollar to Mexico in a single financial year. Possible? Yes, people, towards acquisition of a joint property, you are allowed to combine your transaction. It is allowed, provided that property should be named in a joint ownership. All your names has to reflect in the document. If that is the case, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2.5 lakh dollar each LRS limit into 4. You're free to send 10 lakh dollar provided the property is occupied as a joint ownership, joint property. You're shown as a co-owners, co-partners, as the case may be. So in the given case, yes, allowed in a single financial year. Yes, people. So that's your quick 51 questions. I hope you guys were able to recall, revise, and probably learn some new concepts as well if you guys have not learned. And I think these were good questions as well. You guys let me know what more content you want me to simplify. I'll be here to simplify that content for you. Put it in the comments. I'll be reading it, and whatever you guys want, I'll be coming up with that as your next content. Meanwhile, I've also done the marathon. The marathon is also uploaded. Please feel free to watch so that before the exams you go with proper knowledge. Yes. So thank you so much. I'll be uploading this file for you to download. It's all yours. So see you all. Bye bye, and wish you guys all the best.